Okay, so this next unit you guys are going to work on, it's all about Pythagorean theorem. And so the main deal with Pythagorean theorem is you have to find the square roots of stuff. And so each side you'll want to find the square root eventually. So we're going to practice that just to get you guys used to using those buttons on the calculators and estimating. This is kind of like from unit 1. So number 1, which number line shows a point that best represents the value of the square root of 215. So in your calculator, remember to do the square root, hit that second button, the blue, and that activates everything that's in blue above your keys. So second, we want to hit that because that's your square root button above x squared. So we're going to put in 215 and hit enter. So the square root of 215 is 14.66, we'll say 3. And so we want to see where it's going to match. So it's going to be between 14 and 15. So already I can get rid of D. That's right on 15. I can get rid of A. It's right on 14. And so if it's 14.663, is it closer to 15 or is it closer to 14? That's how you want to think about it. And so between B and C, this one is closer to 15, which is what your number would be. D, which square root has a value between 13.8 and 14.5. Okay, so we're going to have to try each of these out and see which one gives us a number between 13.8 and 14.5. So the square root of 190, 13.78. So is that going to be, and don't round it, just look at it the way it is that going to be between 13.8 and 14.5? No, it's going to be a little short of that. Okay, so then the square root 200, 14.14. So that's a maybe, because that's pretty close. It's going to be in between there. I mean, that is a yes. That's between those two, but let's check the other ones. Square root of 213, 14.59, so that's a little bit over that one, so it can't be H. And then J, you could automatically eliminate it because it's higher than 213, but if we want to double check just to get practice, 220 is 14.8, so it's going to be way too big. So it's going to be G. Right triangle ABC is shown below. The value, which value is the best approximation of the length of the hypotenuse? Okay, this is a word you haven't seen yet. Hypotenuse means the longest side of the triangle, which is going to be between A and C, that square root of 8. The hypotenuse is always directly across from your square root. Okay, it's always your longest length, the diagonal. So square root of 8 is 2.828. So 2.828, the only one that is close is A. Okay, on the back, the hypotenuse of a right triangle measures, remember hypotenuse is going to be this over here. The square root is 77.45. Which distance is the best approximation of the length of the hypotenuse? So we want to find the square root of 77.45, sorry, not 5. And it's 8 point, so that equals 8.8 pretty much. And that's an answer choice. Okay, the reason they've got these other things is because they're going to see you do this, 77.45, without hitting that second. And is that an answer choice? Yes. So make sure you do the square root, not squared. Which point on the number line, should say, best represents the value of the square root of 1/20th? So square root, and under there we can do alpha y equals, and make a fraction, 1/20th. And so that's going to be 0.224. 0.224. So let's see, it's got to be before 0.23. And so G is out. G is too big. And I'm going to say, because this is going by about ones, this would be 0.21, 0.22. So F looks to be the closest one. E would be just a little bit too short, and D would be way too short, 0.20. Two numbers are shown on the number line. Which value is not located between these two numbers? So let's figure out what these two numbers are. So pi, you guys know, 3.14. 2 square root of 16. When you see this, what it is wanting you to do, it's basically multiplying those two things together. It wants you to put it in the calculator exactly like you see it. Okay? So 2 square root of 16, I'm putting in the calculator exactly like that to see what number it is. And it's 8. Look at that. So 2 pi. So let's plug that in to see what that would be. 2 pi. Pi is over here if you guys didn't know. So second pi, or carrot top. So that's going to be 6.283. Is that between 3.14 and 8? Yep. So we're going to keep that one. Square root of 16. And that's 4, but you can double check yourself if you're not sure. Square root of 16 is 4. That falls between those two numbers, so that's good. 16 divided by pi. So 16 divided by second carrot top gives me 5.1. And that would fall between those two numbers, so there's only one left, but let's just double check. Pi squared, so second carrot top for pi, squared, divided by 16. I hope you don't see this on the start test. 0.616, or really that would be 7. But anywho's, does that fall in this number line between 3 and 8? Nope. So this is the one because it said which one is not located. So your worksheet with this, just to practice square roots, is this puzzle. Yay! You're gonna fill these out, figure out what these numbers represent, and then you're gonna put them on the number line, and you'll put the letter on the number that it goes with, and it should spell out some answer, some little puzzle.